do an upper body move for a minute, a midsection move for a minute, and then a lower body move for a minute. To start out, I'll ask Emily to get in a push-up position. And then for the next 60 seconds, she can choose a basic push-up. So continue with a basic, which you go as far as you like to the bottom, do a few of those. And as you fatigue, you can either rest or stop at a certain position or modify. So to modify, you put both knees down and continue. Right, so this one's shoulders, chest, and tricep. It's a basic move. It's difficult. A lot of people cannot do one or two of the initial ones. So feel free if you need to stop, rest, or cheat a little bit, that's fine too. So continue for another 25 seconds. And right now, Emily is modifying, so it's always a good option. This one is very tiring. It doesn't take much to get tired. We'll continue for 10 more seconds and then take a break. Nice job. 2, 1, rest. Good. Okay. From here, we're going to change the move slightly. We'll go to midsection. So the next midsection move is working abdominals and lower back. It's a plank. But there are two different forms of a plank. We'll go for the easier form where you're on your elbows and you're on your forearms. So to begin, I'll ask, yes, you tense your abdominals, you keep your back straight. And this is the more challenging form. It's a plank where you're on your forearms and you are not allowing weight to go to your knees. Well, let's modify. Let's drop to both knees and hold this position. So now we've taken some work off of it and we're allowing your back to take a slight break and your abdominals take a slight break. All right, let's go back to the original and add difficulty. So now let's do a tripod. A tripod has you elevate one leg, suspend a few seconds, and change legs. So if you want to stay with a basic plank, that's fine. If you want to go to a tripod, it's even better. It's much more of a challenge. So let's modify again. Let's drop to your knees and hold the plank. Exactly right. And as you need to, either rest or stop or modify. So hang in for another 10 seconds, and then we'll change moves. 2, 1, rest. Good. Okay, Emily, if you can shake out a little bit. And then we're going to switch to one heavy weight. So pick one of your heavier weights, and we'll go to a leg move. So again, we're alternating upper, middle, lower. This next one's a sumo squat. Where you turn your knees out to the, turn your toes out to the side, bend your knees, tighten your abdominals, keep your back straight, and then drop straight down. Here we go. So you sit on your heels. So this one's continuous motion. This one is mostly quads, but her weight is sitting back on your heels. So there's other type squats where you lean forward slightly and put weight on your ball joint. This one's not one of those. Her abs are tight, her back is straight, and she's using the power of her quads to go straight up. And that little turnout takes pressure off your knees. It's called the sumo position. So we're halfway done. We're 30 seconds in. You go at your speed, your pace. We're using one heavy weight in front. Body weight alone for some people is plenty in this one, but for our purposes, she is using a household item to add resistance, add work, and to save time. So that is the point of any resistance, any extra work. Overload accelerates the change, and it allows you to save time and it's more efficient. So hang in for another 5 seconds. We'll hit 60 seconds at that point. 2, 1, rest. Good. Okay. All right, shake out for a little bit, and we'll get ready for the next move. So now let's keep that heavier weight, and we're going to go behind your head with the handle up top and the base behind for a tricep extension. So have it exactly right. So tense your abdominals, keep your back straight, and then immediately let's go directly to the tricep extension. Right, continuous motion. You go as far as you like. If it bothers your elbows, you stop sooner. So we could use this with 2 light weights or 1 heavy weight. But for efficiency, you don't want to change too many things. So the whole idea is if you're working with a heavy weight at first, to make it time savings, you want to keep the same weight. But if you were not in a hurry, you could certainly right now switch to two lights, 2 mediums, or in this case, we're keeping one heavier weight. So this one should be tricep. Everything is still. The only thing that's working is your tricep alone. Now this wall sit or sumo squat position is really tough to do because their legs are frozen with a slight bend to get extra work. So hang in for another 10 seconds. Nice job. 2, 1, rest. Good. Okay. Take a break, shake out for a little bit, and we'll keep moving. At any point, if you do need to stop, that's fine too. All right, let's go back to core. So this one is Superman. To continue, I'll ask you to lay on your stomach. Good. Now we're going to do some modified versions first. So for modified versions, let's have the user lift one leg off the ground only and lock it out. One leg. 2, 1, rest. Other leg off the ground. 2, 1, rest. Good. Left leg plus right arm off the ground. 2, 1, rest. Opposite. Rest. Opposite. Rest. Opposite side, any speed you like. You can go slowly and continue with isometrics. You can go briskly and make it a swimming move. Exactly right. 2, 1, rest. Good job. Let's add difficulty. Let's lift both hands off the ground. Chin and chest off the ground, toes and knees off the ground. So your body's in a bow shape. It's picking up what's called your posterior kinetic chain. Your posterior kinetic chain is neck, upper back, lower back, hips, hamstrings, everything behind your body. In gravity alone, there's plenty of work for the back of your body. Some body parts do require weights. See a change? This whole network doesn't need a whole lot of weight. Your body weight alone is enough. Hang it for 2 seconds. 2, 1, rest. Good. Okay. Shake off a little bit and we'll move on. From now, I'll ask you go to your medium weights, 2 medium weights. So we do ask for 3 weights, light, medium, heavy. We're going to go back to a leg move. It's called a side lunge. So to begin with, again, tighten your abdominals, back straight, and we'll step out to one side and stick the landing. We hold the landing. Then back to the middle. And then go to your left. Back to middle. A little bit too low. Let's make it a little bit easier, so we'll do a little bit less dramatic. So again, step out either alternating sides, that's fine, or continue as you see fit, or you can stay with the same side for several reps before you change. And then you can modify, put the weights in the side of your hips, or you can keep your abdominals tight and back straight and have the weights in the middle. So what we're trying to do now, rather than go north-south so much, we're going east-west to try to work the outside of your hip, inside of your thigh, and just change out the workout. Okay. So currently we're holding the landing, we're not decelerating through it, we're holding the landing. There's a more difficult form where you decelerate immediately and push through the landing. That's not something we're doing for now. This is an easier form. And don't extend your knee beyond the front of your toe. You want to be safe, protect your knees, so you just go as far as you like. Hang in for 3 more seconds. 2, 1, rest. Good. Okay. Okay, from here, we're going to move on to a new cluster. The new cluster will be an upright row. We'll keep those same medium weights and have her thumbs face each other. Tighten your abdominals back straight, and we'll do an upright row where just bring your elbows high and repeatedly, dropping those weights and bringing them back up. So now we've switched back to upper body. This one is bicep plus shoulders. Exactly right. Keep your abs tight. This is an upright row. You can row from several different directions. You can do an upright row. You can do a bent over row. There's plenty of other options. There's something called a lawnmower pull. It has you pull one arm at a time, bent over. So there's plenty of options to row, but a row is bicep plus one more muscle. So continue this one, for another 25 seconds to make a full minute. Keep your abs tight, back straight. You should notice your bicep and shoulders are starting to get tired fairly soon. Your elbows point to the ceiling. So always try to go elbows high and have them lead the way. Hang in for 5 more seconds. Pretty good. 2, 1, rest. Good job. Good. Okay. All right, so now if you can shake out a little bit, and we're going to switch back to midsection. So shake out a little bit. We don't need the weights. And we're going to switch over to a basic bent knee sit-up or an ab crunch. So to begin, lay on your back and put both hands behind your head, supporting the weight of your head and your fingertips. Your knees are bent, your back is flat, your feet are flat on the ground. Then all you do, keeping your neck frozen, is exhale and do a slight crunch, getting space under your shoulder blades. So if you could begin, and then repeatedly, go right ahead. Lift up just small, just a little 3-inch lift. So from the top down, your hands are open with your fingertips supporting the weight of your head. Your neck is frozen with enough space under your chin to fit a baseball or an apple under your chin. And then we're just getting enough space under your shoulder blades so you can feel air underneath your shoulder blades. Your back is flat, your knees are bent, your hips are on the ground, your feet are flat on the ground. So to get effect, you don't need a big sit-up. These are small, just a little 3-inch crunch. And then to get the pressure off your abdomen, you tense your abdominals and exhale through your mouth on every rep as if you're blowing out a candle. So a short little puff to get the pressure off your abdomen. So anytime you put weight on your abdomen or pressure on your abdomen, you want to decompress slightly. So what you do is you puff out through your mouth on every rep as if you're blowing out a candle. So this is a basic sit-up, a bent knee sit-up. Hang in for 2 more seconds. 2, 1, rest, good. Okay, now let's continue with heel slides. For these, you can either use a towel at home, a couple of paper plates if the surface is abrasive, or in our case, we're using VersaDiscs. So to begin, you just lift your hips high off the ground and extend both legs out and retrieve your heels back towards your hips. This one's really tough to do. Okay, so continuous as you see fit. And then to modify, let's bring your heels back towards your hips and stop right there. Can you just extend one leg out and just pull it back against the air? And then change legs. And then same thing. So if it's difficult for you to do, it's almost just a back bridge, pulling air only. And let's go back to the original. This one, you do need a smooth surface. So if it's a rug, you'd probably use paper plates or a Frisbee. If it's anything that's a little bit smoother, maybe a towel, like linoleum or tile, maybe a towel. So this one's tough to do. This is hamstring and hips. Okay, keep going for another 30 seconds. This one's hard to do. All right, let's try resting with our hips on the ground and then doing the same thing with our hips down to make it easier. All right, 1 leg at a time, exactly right. And then maybe 2 at a time, but keep your hips down. Right, so if it's too difficult to do, there's always a way to modify. Hang in for 15 more seconds, and we'll take a slight break. So at any time, feel free to modify, make it easier, make it tougher. Let's try to get the full minute in. 2, 1, rest, good. Okay, let's switch over to an upper body move. So for now, let's go to a medium weight. And we'll go back to your bicep only. It's called a hammer curl. So for a 10, you have 2 hammers in your hands. You tense your abdominals. We'll have your palms facing each other with a slight bend in your elbows, and then curl right up towards your shoulders repeatedly. Good, so keep your abdominals tight, stand tall, do a slight bend in your knees. So try to keep the pressure off your lower back, by keeping your abs tight. If you want to change it up a little bit, we could go alternating hammer curls. We can go one and the other, so they move simultaneously. Exactly right. So your biceps not very strong. Medium-sized weight should be plenty. Bis and tris tend to need extra work. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Let's go both at the same time again. Let's go right back to the original. Good, exactly right. So your biceps should be getting tired very, very soon. Hang in for 20 more seconds. Good job. And let's go back to alternating again. 2, 1, rest, good. Okay, let's get rid of the weights and we'll go back to midsection. So now we're going to a V-sit, where you're on the floor. We'll try several different ways. To begin, let's have your hands behind you with your elbows bent, knees up close to your chest, feet off the ground. And to continue, let's push your feet out as if you're doing a leg press and then retrieve your knees close to your chest. Anytime you start to incur pressure on your abdomen, in this case, when you bring your knees up closer to your chest, exhale through your mouth as if you're blowing out a candle. Now that allows you to get some support out of your hands. Your hands are taking 1/3 of the weight. But to continue, let's add difficulty. Let's freeze with the knees up close to your chest. 2, 1, freeze. Hold that position. Let's put both hands behind your hamstrings and hold the back of your legs. So now let's do the same thing in an abbreviated way and push your feet out again, but let your hands take some of the work. Right, so continue to hold the back of your hamstrings with your hands. Right. And then finally, the most difficult, again, is to freeze with knees up close to your chest and extend both arms in front of you with your palms down and do the same move, no hands. Right, this is the most difficult form of a V-sit, but it's mostly abdominals and hip flexor. Hang in for 3 more seconds. 2, 1, rest. Good. Okay. All right, let's get ready to the next move. Okay, next one up is a back bridge where we hold the position. Now, formally, we did a ball curl, a heel slide, where we pulled your heels up close to your chest. Mary Grace, can you get rid of that? Okay, I'll start again. I'm gonna start that one again. Formally, we did a heel slide where we actively moved your feet. Now we're just gonna hold in a position. So to begin, we ask you to hold at the highest point. Use the strength of your abdominals to hold you up. Now, if this one is too difficult, you could certainly rest at times. If it's too easy, you can lift one leg off the ground and suspend it right there. Hang on for that for a few seconds, and then change legs. So this one's abdominals, lower back, hips, hamstrings. This one's tough to do. Let's go back to the original, and then hold that position. After 2 seconds, we will rest. So why don't you take a break for a second, rest on the ground, get your bearings again, and let's try it one more time for 20 seconds. 2, 1, go, and we'll just hold this position. It's abdominals, quads, hamstrings, hips, lower back. Hang there a little bit longer. You're done in 10 seconds. 2, 1, rest. Good job. All right, that is the end of some supersetting.